made my own photo book. I printed 50 of them. If you want one of the last two, link is in the bio. In this video, I'm going to break down how to make a photo book. It's a little bit more complex than making a zine or a little magazine printout because it's a book. This was more of a project for me as a photographer to grow, make a physical thing of my work and get it into people's hands to look through it other than just Instagram. And I feel like there's probably a lot of photographers that would like to do something similar to that. So this video is for them. To make a creative project at the scale of a book level, you need to have a built-up body of work. It can either be very focused on something or totally just photos that you think flow together well. I think it's really important to have a general idea of how you want your end product to look like. It took me a while to get to that point, but once I knew what I wanted the book to look like, it really sped up the process of getting it actually put together and made. It wasn't until I had a concrete idea of how I wanted my book to look, which is this. This is the book. Once I knew how I wanted it to look, everything came together a lot easier, and that was a really important part of the process to be able to move on to the next step. The second step is curating your work. This is by far the most exciting step of the whole process. And kind of challenging because you get to look at your work, the work that you've selected to be part of this, and you have to make cuts. If one photo just doesn't go with any other photos and you can't fit it into the flow of things, you got to be willing to cut it. But it's really fun looking through all your work, seeing what you like, forgetting about photos that you took a while ago, and then looking back at them being like, oh, that's a good photo, or looking back at a photo that you thought you liked being like, oh, not as good as I thought. The whole purpose of this is to play around with your images until they go together nicely. For me, it helped to have little printouts, but it also just do it on your computer, use folders and files, and just keep moving it around and putting images side by side through Lightroom or something until you think they go together well. This part sucks. This is why self-publishing is a little bit difficult because you don't have any help. And so for me, I didn't want to spend any extra money to have someone help me do this. I figured it out myself. Adobe InDesign, which wasn't as easy, but after a couple months, I finally got the hang of it. But once you get to this part, after you've done all the curating and categorizing it, and you figure out how InDesign works, it's not that hard. You just start laying out the photos in the pages, what you want to start, what's the start of the book, what's the end of the book, what type of font do you want to use if you have any writing in it. And I tried to make it so it flows and never gets boring, but every decision in this part should be thought out, and you should really go through it and look at it before you're happy with it. And then once you find the person that will make your book for you, they'll have a certain format that they want it to be delivered in a PDF probably and such, so you're gonna have to figure that out. But if you've done that far, you will figure that out pretty easily. For me, this part took a very long time because I wanted to make a book that is really high quality, and part of making a photo book that's really important is the paper. If you have too thin of a paper, you can see, if you have photos on each side of it, you can see through, and that's janky. If you know anything about photographs, paper that you print your image on matters, and the printer quality matters, because if the colors aren't accurate to what you see, it's going to make you incredibly unhappy. So you have to find usually an independent or smaller print house that will be willing to do a small scale run for you. For me, I did it through Edition 1, which is in Northern California, and they did an amazing job. The paper weight was great. All the fit and finish was amazing. This is where it gets a little weird. Since I chose the highest quality photo book financially possible for myself to make, I knew profit wasn't ever going to be in the picture once I ran the calculations, because to get a book that's linen wrapped and foil printed and such, it cost a decent penny. I would have to charge way too much per book to make money back, and I wasn't going to do that. I just priced it at the point where I could make almost all my money back. That was the goal. Making this book wasn't about making money. It was about making a piece of art that I'm proud of and that I could give to family and friends and a couple random people if they want to buy it. However, if you are looking to make profit on your project, you have to print more. Quantity in print runs matters. So I did 50 prints. That made the cost of books somewhat high. If I did 100 prints, the cost would have come down, and I could have charged less or charged the same, probably made money, but I knew I couldn't really sell more than 50. But if you want to make money, print more, maybe do a little less. You don't need to do a linen cover and all that stuff, but I mean, it's your art project. If you want it to be exactly how you want it to be, which is what I did, I just chose to deal with the financial hit, and I'm fine with it. I really enjoy the process still. And it's just, if you're a photographer and you want to see your work printed in a real book that's nice, there's really no better feeling. I think art books are amazing. I have a decent collection of them. There's film books. This is a chef's book, but it has amazing photography in it. Those are like books I had from school, but art books, these types of books, they're incredibly inspiring. If you're ever feeling a lack of motivation to make something, flicking through those and seeing other people's great work is just really awesome. And being able to have made my own version of that now, I'm happy with it, and I would love to in the future make another one once I have another body of work that I think is worth putting together and having people flick through. And yeah, if you have any more specific questions on how to make a book, this is like a somewhat detailed video, not overly detailed, just kind of a starting point. If you really want a real breakdown, leave a comment and I can help you through that even more if you want to. If you like the video, subscribe, and yeah, here's my book. I'll show you a little bit of it. This is a good one. I don't know, my photos. If you want to see the whole thing, you can. Oh, here's a fun little thing. So if you see the cover, my brother made this drawing based off this photo of this pigeon woman in Portugal. Okay, that's all for the video. If you like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever.